I've got the need for speed. Hello, I am Michelle with 2 L's.
And I am Natalie the Red.
And we are Force of Light Entertainment. And we are here to give you our review of the new movie, Top Gun Maverick, the long-awaited sequel to the 1986 movie, Top Gun. And all I've got to say about this before we get started is that Tom Cruise is making sequels great again, is all I see about this. But
it's true.
For those of you who are not yet subscribed, one, just go ahead and hit the subscribe button.
What are you waiting on?
It's free 99. Hit that and also give the video a thumbs up. But for those of you who are new, we like to tell you our initial thoughts of the movie, what we liked, disliked, and then we rate the movie. And we will save the minor spoilers we'll get into for the very end, and we'll give you fair warning when we get in.
We're nothing but fair
when we get into those. So we'll do that. So let's go ahead and start with our initial thoughts. My initial thoughts of this movie were that was really good. Like that was great. That was a fantastic sequel, is what I was thinking. My initial thoughts. Natalie, what were yours?
You know, it's kind of sometimes about the way something makes you feel, and the way this movie made me feel was just
proud to be an American.
Proud to be an American, man. And also just like a feel good, finally just
feel good. Yes.
A happy movie.
A feel good movie.
Victorious, happy movie.
This is a summer blockbuster for sure. Totally. So that's our initial thoughts. So now let's get into what we liked. And honestly, I said we're going to talk about what we disliked, but there's not much I disliked about this movie.
Spoiler.
Yeah, I mean, this movie, it was fantastic. It was a fantastic sequel. For this to be, it's worth pointing out that Natalie and I, and we'll link this at the end, just recently watched the original Top Gun just like a month ago.
Yes.
So it's not like we have some deep emotional ties to this movie.
Like childhood ties,
yes,
to Top Gun.
As many people do.
Right.
And yet this is our feelings of this movie, that it was like a perfect sequel.
It was.
And I think considering there were 36 years between the two movies, I don't know if there's been a sequel that's had that big of a gap that's done this good of a job.
I think they nailed it.
Like they nailed it. I mean, Tom Cruise is at the top of his game. That's all I got to say.
Okay, this is what I'll say. Like I said to Michelle last night, Tom Cruise as a person, whatevs. But Tom Cruise as an actor, amazing.
You gotta love him.
He's a true movie star. He just brings it to whatever he does.
He absolutely does. And him being back as Maverick, he was Maverick again.
He was.
And
almost doesn't really look much different. It's amazing.
No. And this movie is a little over 2 hours, and the time, you don't feel that time.
No.
You enjoy every second of this movie from the point it begins and to the moment it ends. And I will just say this because
this is nostalgia done right.
Absolutely. That's what I was going to get into. That's what I was going to get
into, Michelle.
That's what I was going to get into. Where in other franchises, maybe there's some deconstruction of a beloved character and them kind of getting one-upped by other characters, or not even just going to show what we all want to see. This movie gives you exactly what you want to see from Maverick.
And then some.
Yes, you get to see Maverick at the top of his game. He's the best pilot there is. And it almost served up, which actually the original did too. It almost served up Rocky IV vibes, where I was sitting in my seat yes! You're cheering for Maverick as he takes these turns. And
I like how
and as he's in the cockpit, you're so were you not? I mean, you're cheering for this character and rooting for him the whole way through.
And some of the flight stuff, especially I think watching on the big screen, it is kind of like a ride. It's crazy. You kind of go on this ride with them at times.
Oh my gosh, the scenes, and there's actually quite a few of them. And normally I don't love chase scenes or things like that, but I love.
But this keeps your interest.
It does. Every minute that they were all in the the planes.
Yeah, I'm not sure what you call those, honestly.
I mean, they're kind of like a TIE fighter. Yeah.
They're kind of like a starship.
They're like an X-Wing from Star Wars. But when anytime they were in those, you felt like you almost wanted to bend with them. Like you were
Yeah.
moving, you were in the
Like
cockpit
I
with
could
them.
see them turning that into like a ride of like
A
just to
ride.
be in a
Oh
ride
my
like that, and be
gosh, if
flying
they
like that.
had
That would be so much fun.
if they had like Star Tours, like
Yeah.
at Hollywood Studios, like if they had that, like with that would be so much fun.
I mean, of course they wouldn't want to make it that intense for you, but like, but just the pulling and the just it's very physical, this flying, you know?
Yes. And I mean, something that I absolutely loved about this was like a perfect blend of it being somewhat modern, but then also having some of the 80s
80s like
movie
nostalgia, yeah.
nostalgia, and even a little bit of the cheesiness, but in a good way. Like I enjoyed it. It was a feel good
In a way that like by the end you just like have a big smile on your face.
You do. You
Your
absolutely.
hope is restored. You're ready to go on and face the world.
You do. And it just to me, and this kind of goes back to the 80s, again, Rocky, Top Gun. It was an Americano movie. And it's kind of like, guess what, Hollywood? Americans still like that.
Because America rocks.
Like
you
we
know?
still, you know what? When I watch James Bond, I'm there rooting for MI6 and Great Britain, you know?
Yes.
And with Top Gun, you're there to root for the Americans and in this situation. But it just captured that American culture like so
Yes.
well.
That like Bruce Springsteen.
Yes, born in the USA.
in the USA type of culture, very much so.
Absolutely. So it's a great movie for Memorial Day weekend,
Yeah,
actually.
it's great timing.
Yes, but the way they did this too, it's like there was so much like callbacks to the original movie of almost the movie being similar, but then it was enough different in its own movie that it made it a really worthy sequel, in my opinion.
Yes, and there's enough of like I think there's a good storyline, honestly.
Yes, absolutely.
Kind of like a redemption thing going on, and it's like you've got a lot of action, but there's also, you know, a decent amount of emotional weight to it.
There is, absolutely, because of course, and
kind of throughout.
I don't think this is really a spoiler, but Goose's son is.
I'm sorry if we just spoiled that for you.
I don't think everyone knows that Miles Teller is playing Goose's son. I mean, that's kind of been known.
Oh, I thought you were just gonna say that Goose died.
Well, I mean, that would if we spoiled that movie came out in 1986, and why are you watching the sequel review at that point?
True,
I can't feel bad
that's
about
on
this.
you at that point.
But yeah, of course you got Miles Teller playing Goose's son, and you see exactly as soon as he walks in why they picked him for this role
with the stash and it. Like he nailed it. Like
he
when they did him, it's not a spoiler, but just he's playing the piano like his dad Goose, like, and they do kind of like a flashback, and it really is looks so much like him going from one to the other.
They nailed it. And then of course just the weight that Maverick carries with his son being there and everything that went on with him and Goose. It was just, there was a lot of good emotional weight to, as Natalie said, to this story.
And like there's a scene with, I guess this also is not a spoiler, correct? I can mention yeah, it's not, that Val Kilmer was in it. So Iceman, there's like a scene between the two of them. It's just like, and like Michelle said, I don't have some big emotional tie to this movie.
Oh, and I felt emotional.
But it was like I was tearing up. You know, it was just like they really kind of got you right here.
It was an excellent job of bringing Val Kilmer's Iceman back into this movie. And
like it was like kind of precious.
And if you want to consider this a light spoiler, just cover your ears for 2 seconds. But I love the fact that you see the Iceman like had his back.
Yeah.
You know, because doesn't he say, I'll be your wingman anytime at the end of the first one? And it's like to find out all these years this character has had Maverick's back.
And
like
he kept his word all those years.
I did. Like I really loved what they did with Val Kilmer's Iceman character in this. And then as far as new characters, I thought, what's her name? Conley? What's her first name? I forget.
Oh, Jennifer Connelly.
Jennifer Connelly. Like I heard someone say, and I get what they're saying, that they just kind of tacked her story in, but I enjoyed that element.
But like it added something.
It did.
It added a female element, I think, that, you know, I don't know. I think
it was good.
It did.
Like for the female audience, and even just, I think that goes back to kind of the kind of, when I say it has a throwback feel to bringing a love story into this movie. So I enjoyed her character being in it.
I did too.
And I thought, you know, her and Tom Cruise had, you know, pretty good chemistry together.
Yeah.
So I enjoyed that element and aspect of it. Of course, the theme was great in it and all that.
The music was great.
It was.
Okay, you know, you fans of Top Gun out there, the theme music, I didn't
fantastic.
really, yeah, and it's like it didn't really hit me when we were watching it.
It
for
hit
the
me.
first
It hit
watch,
me even then.
but then hearing it like on this new movie again, it's like that is really great, like theme music.
Oh, and like when you hear it playing, it's like you feel pride somehow. Like it just kind of captures like the American spirit. This whole movie does.
Like hopeful and
yes,
yeah, I love it.
Yeah, it was excellent, and I enjoy, without spoiling at all, I enjoy how the end took a twist in a good way that I didn't really see happening. I don't know if you really get what I'm referring to, and I don't want to spoil it. But it took some turns that I didn't necessarily see coming that I enjoyed. That kind of added an element of adventure for a few minutes, and I I really liked that part of it. I'm trying to think, Natalie, anything else that you can think of that you really liked? I think
I'm trying to think.
I enjoyed the whole movie.
About it. Yeah, I really enjoyed it.
I enjoyed the whole movie, and as far as negatives, I really don't have a negative. Like, I just think, again, for this movie to come out 36 years after the original, that this movie so honors the movie that came before it and is yet its own thing. And I just thought it was an absolutely incredible sequel to Top Gun.
And I think, well, it's like this genre might not be my favorite type of movie. I look at this movie kind of with appreciation that we need more movies like this.
We do, like where you end up like cheering, basically,
and it's victorious.
It is,
because life is sometimes. It doesn't always have to be a sad ending.
No, and there were. I will say this: before the movie was even over, towards the end, there was a moment that our theater erupted in applause.
Yeah,
and that's exciting to be in theaters.
The energy was real.
It was real. Like, people loved it. I mean, I loved it. And then, of course, they applauded at the end when it was over.
I did too.
It's that type of movie. And I mean, Tom Cruise, he nailed it. And the whole cast, everyone in this did good. It was a fantastic sequel, guys. That's all I can say. So now we're going to move into our...
Do we recommend this? Yes.
So now I'm going to move into our rating. We rate out of 5 hoots, 5 being the most level of enjoyment. I will say this. So about 3/4 of probably moving into the third act, I was thinking, you know what? It's probably about a 4 for me. By the end of the movie, the third act is so good. I was like, it's a 5. 5 hoots. So I'm giving this movie 5 hoots. Like, it was max level of enjoyment, an amazing sequel, and I think I just enjoyed the freshness of going back to that Americano type.
Yes.
That we've lost.
It's almost like a forgotten
art, like in music and in movies. And it's just like, I would love some Bruce Springsteen, some that type of music to come back, and some movies like this, Rocky, this type movie to come back.
Americans like that American flavor on a movie every now and then. You know, it's fun.
I think everyone enjoys that from their country. Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. But
because we should all be proud of our countries.
We should. So, Natalie, I give it 5 hoots. How many hoots do you give it?
Oh, I give it an astounding 5 hoots. Absolutely.
We give it 5 hoots.
Let freedom ring.
We give it 5 hoots, and we say that this is a fantastic Memorial Day weekend movie.
Yes.
And you need to go see it. And now I'm gonna let you go if you've not seen it. I just want to say this one thing that I guess technically would be spoilery, so I'll give you.
So exit out now if
you want to. It's a gentle spoiler, but okay, I've given you time. I want to say I'm so glad that Tom Cruise, who had a lot of control over this movie, that he did not let them do what Hollywood seems to love to do now, and that is bring back a beloved character and let him be killed on screen.
Yeah.
But he allowed his character to be the hero and to literally ride off into the sunset.
It's like, and on a personal, it's like he had a breakthrough, like literally and figuratively, he just broke through.
I love that. And again, I was not really a spoiler, but I didn't want to ruin Willie or Willie not die for those of you who hadn't seen it. But yeah, that's my.
We like a happy ending.
We do. We like a good happy ending is good. It's okay to give us a happy ending, and even if it's a little cheesy, we're all smiling.
But you're smiling.
We're smiling. We enjoy it. So that's our review of Top Gun, and also thank you to everyone who has served in the military.
Yes, thank you very much.
We appreciate your service. And again, happy Memorial Day for those of you celebrating here this weekend. Excellent movie to see for Memorial Day weekend. But that is it for our review. If you have not yet, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. Also give the video a thumbs up. And as always, ladies and gentlemen, remember to be a force of light. All right. Bye guys.